Lijiang Tower, the control map. Alright, so in this map really isn't too complicated. One thing that you can do is you can kind of get up here. This is the thing you'll slide on though, so you can't really stay on it very well. Alright, so moving on here, one of the first sniping spots is like right here. You can sidestep behind this prop here, take cover. Moving in here, you can get on top of this if you wanted to. Going on over here on the side. This is probably one of the better sniping spots on this map, is right here. Good view from down here. Enemies will be running back to the fight right here. And if you go over here, you have a view of this side over here, depending on which direction the enemies are coming from. You also gotta watch out for enemies coming from the sides. Say if the enemy is starting over here, then you can go over here and put your venom mine on top of this door right there to warn you if enemies are coming up here to flank you. Going on in here, you can grapple on top of this thing here if you wanted to. From down here, you can grapple onto this platform up here and snipe up here. This is a good sniping spot. But you still are pretty close to the enemy, so you still are vulnerable, so you still have to be careful. You also have to watch out for enemies coming from behind. You can put your venom mine on this door right there. So really, all I've mentioned so far is the best sniping spots on this map. So I'm going to mention a few other spots. They're not so great, but they are the remaining spots. So back here in the back, you can kind of have a view of the control point. I know it's not so great, but you can also do the same thing back over here. And if you drop down onto the lower level, you can snipe back here a little bit of a view of the control point. Same thing with over here. Okay, so when you're down here and say the enemies are coming from this direction, then you can get on top of this platform here and then snipe in this section over here. The control point is a decent view from right here. If you need to take cover, you can back up. You can put your venom mine on top of the door to warn you when enemies are coming through the door. In this room, you can grapple on top of these things, but there's not really much of a point in it. Just letting you know you can't do that. You can walk on these benches too. One thing I want to mention is that when you're in here and you dunk, you can see the spawn door right there. Same thing with right over here. Right here, dunk. There's the spawn door. Another good spot for a venom mine is right behind these desks. As enemies are running back to the fight, they won't see the mine and it'll trigger on them. Other places for mine are like you can put them behind this pillar, depending on which way the enemies are coming. You would put it on the opposite side of the pillar that the enemies have to run to. You can put them on top of these doorways here. Here's the other desk over here you can put the mine at. Little things like that, you know, like say if the enemies are running this direction, you can put the mine behind this pillar here is a good spot. Or like right here on the side. Alright, so really, I mean, that pretty much does it for the control map for Lijiang Tower.